lady.
Hi there, this is Joanna, JC Lady, and this is the vlog, English vlog of JC Lady. And actually I just wanted to tell you what I've been up to and why I haven't been doing the videos I promised, because I promised videos in series. I promised to talk about my books. Just as I'm writing, I wanted to make those videos. I wanted to talk about homeschooling with projects and so on. But what happened? Well, I started writing Polish grammar, back to sources, and it's a huge project. Actually, I thought it would be, I would make it a little shorter, I would make it simpler, but as time went by, as I was writing, I realized that it's impossible. I just have to talk about many things, about historical grammar, meaning about the development of the language, development and changes of vowels and consonants. So it appeared that the book is actually an academic study, even though I'm not an academic. I could have been, but I didn't want to stay at the university. Well, I'm doing it now on my own, but it takes all my time. It's very, I have to study a lot, even though I know a lot already. I have finished, maybe you don't know, I have finished studies some 20 years ago, Polish philology, and I'm a writer and poet. And then later, some 10 years ago, I did my secondary studies, and it was French and English philology, but more for my teaching job, the second one. Anyway, I already knew a lot, right? And I know my language, I know Polish, I know Russian a little, and Slavic languages are all very similar, and I know other languages. But this project is really huge. I just want to uncover things we didn't talk about, things that are not in grammar books. And also there are two kinds of grammar books. On one hand, you've got grammar books for university students, very difficult. I mean difficult. They are just, they use lots of terms which I don't know if they are really necessary. Those studies are in Polish, but the books use the terminology in taken from Latin or some French or German names, and I just think, do we need it if we have those terms in Polish? They are in older books. So anyway, those academic studies, those academic grammar books are very huge, and they are huge, and they are very, you know, you've got the font, which is very tiny, the tiniest possible, and scarcely ever there are any tables or schematas, right? So it's kind of, it's probably just for people who like to study languages. On the other hand, you've got books which are grammar books for schools, but they are too much simplified, all right? Polish language, and I think most of all Slavic languages, but all Slavic languages are kind of difficult, right? we've got all those, changes in words, in verbs and nouns and pronouns, right? And in Polish language, you've got lots of exceptions, you could say. But then I say, well, it's not an exception. Why do they put it in a separate conjugation, I would say, right? Why do they say it's a different form, it's a different type of verb? And suddenly I see a grammar book for children, and there are like 15 kinds of verbs, schematas, right? How you change that word, how you use it. That's not true. You know, in old grammar books, academic also, there are only 5 kinds of verbs. So what's the problem? I mean, the problem is we lost the connection. We've lost the connection. We don't see that the word changed a little because the phonetics changed, because some consonants like K or T changed into ch, right? Or zh. So right? So you don't see the connection. So I decided, well, there must be a grammar book that would be a middle way, that would be kind of simple. I wanted to describe what is Polish language, but also I want to take some history of the language, the history of grammar. I just want to show that. Also, there are lots of problems like, why do we talk like that? Is it really a Polish word, or is it really a Latin word, or is it a German word? And I also tackle that subject. I talk about that because we know in Poland there are lots of words that are German, are not German, they are Polish. But you know, we didn't have borders really before. So the words, they were like going there and back, there and back. First they went there and they went back, a little changed, and so on. So I kind of dig a little that topic, but not so much. In this grammar book, I talk about grammar mainly, and I give the schemata, I give the idea that in fact, or the speech, the language is like coming from one little piece to bigger to the huge big speech or text. And then when you hear it, you have to analyze it, understand, so you have to come to smaller. So it's like small, big, big, small, right? You have to do this option, this kind of exercise. You have to do this exercise all the time. So in this grammar, I try to put a kind of order. Not all the grammar books do it. When you take, for example, Latin books, Latin grammar books, they usually put in front, like at the beginning, everything that is connected to verb. I don't know why. That's not the beginning. The beginning is the sound, phonetics, right? Then you've got the other. So I took lots of grammar books, Sanskrit, German, French. I compared, and I took also very old grammar books, different languages, and I decided what idea or what order is the best. And I think the best is the one that shows also small as big, and it gives you the idea, the whole idea. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that this is the topic that takes all my time. I get up early, I write, I've got children still small, 5 and 11 years old, so then I teach them. No schools now. The older, he used to go to the Waldorf school, but now it's closed. He's got some lessons, but then languages I still teach languages to my children, both of them, since we want to travel soon. Anyway, then, you know, lunch, stuff like that. I've got parents who help a lot, but I don't have to do my laundry, for example. My mom does it. Yeah. But then when I cook for everybody. So, you know, exchange. And then in the afternoon, I write again, and I do many things I did before. I don't prepare my formal stuff, like I don't prepare my visiting cards. I started and I dropped it. I don't make those videos. So just this video is to explain to you and just to say that I will do videos talking about the books I wrote already. I made only one, and first chapter or the beginning of the book, Toxic Relationships, and I want to do another video about Slavic education, the book I wrote, Slavic bringing up, I would say, and not really education, or just a little bit about education. And I wrote another book about homeschooling with projects and holistic homeschooling. I also want to make a few movies about that, just to show, show you what the book is about. Of course, those books didn't appear yet. I'm just doing everything at the same time. I'm basically writing. Everything is, the economy is frozen still, I would say. So I decided not to put it yet on Amazon or lulu.com. I decided to wait until, I guess, June. Let's see what happens, coronavirus and stuff, all that. And people, I think people are kind of scared and lost. So maybe it's not a good time for publishing books. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just hanging on with that. And yeah, so but it will be on Amazon and Lulu, or one of them, maybe first Lulu then Amazon. Let's see. So you will be able to buy paper version or ebook, and that's it, I guess. So you know, just to explain to you what I've been up to. I hope this project will not be interesting only for Polish-speaking people. I want to translate my book into English and French. Actually, I belong to many groups concerning Slavic connection, Slavic history in English, right? People from around the world. Slavic customs, Slavic magic, and I find people who are Polish, they actually speak Polish, or they understand but they don't really speak and write, and they want to know about Polish grammar, because they think that Polish grammar books are really not good, right? So I just want to write something that would be better explained, but also, you know, talking lots about history of the language, you will see, right? Anyway, I hope people who speak English will also be interested in that book. And I know there are lots of people in America and around the world who have Polish connection or any Slavic connection, right? Because they have parents, grandparents, and or just some ancestors from Slavic countries. Also, I think that when I write that book about Polish grammar, it's not only about Polish grammar. I do think it's about also other Slavic languages, because the topic is kind of similar, right? Before you didn't really have Polish grammar, but I have to call it somehow, right? So that people know what it is about. but before you had, you know, like Lechina Empire or some, you know, something wider like Scythian Empire, or some people call it Lendian, Lendovie. I cannot really say it in English. I don't think so. You have those words in English, but I will. I guess I will put them in Polish or other Slavic languages, or Latin, right? Anyway, what I'm saying, before it wasn't really Polish, right? It's like pra Slavic, something like that. But the thing is, I'm talking about that also, that there was the common language, and I don't really think it was Proto-Indo-European. I mean, it was Indo-European, but you know, before they went to India, actually, there was some kind of language that was that was Slavic, or like Proto-Slavic, right? And why? Because this Proto-Slavic, the Slavic, nowadays, Polish, for example, is closest to Sanskrit than Sanskrit is to, I don't know, German, for example, you know. So the root must have been something Slavic. Anyway, the grammar is not only about that. Grammar is about grammar. I plan another book, but in a few years, it will be, again, something that will popularize the topic of comparative grammar. I want to compare. I just want to compare. I want to show the connections in grammar between different languages of Indo-European, right? Sanskrit, Persian, Polish, German, French, Latin, Greek, right? There are books like that, but I believe they are again very academic studies. I don't think so they are easy to read. I don't think so they are accessible to people, and I want to write something that will be accessible to people, to be understandable, right? So I want to put there something that will be useful, right, for understanding your own language. That's it from me. I made it longer than I wanted to. Okay, so take care, you guys, and remember, be free. It's important, especially now in this coronavirus times of putting masks on faces, etc. So, you know, beware. Be free in your mind, always. Take care, Joanna.